Hello fellow bookworms, it's Katie. So today I'd like to talk to you about Catherynne and Valente's Radiance. This book is one of the most beautifully written, strangest books I've ever read in my entire life. And I'm going to have a very hard time describing this book to you because it's just so different. You really can't just summon this book up in a concise little description. It's just not possible because this book is so many things at once that you just really have to experience it for yourself. So I'll try to summarize the plot now. At the core, this book is about the disappearance of Catherynne, who is the daughter of a very famous director. Catherynne made a name for herself by directing a lot of critically acclaimed documentaries. At the latest filming site of one of her documentaries, she just vanished and nobody really knows what happened. It was kind of this weird tragedy and a lot of people died on the set, and it's basically about the revelation of this mystery. Basically, there's a lot more, but that's, the question, the underlying question. So yes, and this is a sci-fi book. It is set in a kind of a little bit of a different reality to our own, where all the planets and moons of the planets have been colonized, and there's frequent travel between the different colonies. But if space travel was invented in like 1850 or something, it's much rooted in this Hollywood glamour kind of film industry thing where everything is very stylistic, everything is very beautiful. So let's firstly talk about the writing, which is, in my opinion, the strength of the book. And I just really can describe this writing as beautiful. It is so beautiful. Catherynne Valente has a thing with words that when I read her work, I'm always reminded that language can be so beautiful and that it's almost like magic. This book is made up of mixed media, which means that there are screenplays, there are recorded conversations, there are movie scenes that are written out, there are diary entries, and you kind of have to piece all of the information together for yourself from all of these snippets of this world. Let's move on to the characters. There are a lot of very unique character voices, and because of that, it's very hard to tell who the main protagonist is, because we don't really have a main protagonist. We don't really follow one main plot, and we don't really follow one character. It's all about the mystery, what happened to Catherynne. And because there are so many voices, it's pretty hard to tell what is real and what is fake, because much as in real life, people have different perceptions of what the people think of themselves, and it makes it very difficult to decide, okay, this is what really happened and this is fake, this is just what the person thinks about things that happened, and it's a bit confusing. So let's move on to the plot. That's what will make or break the book for most people, because you see, there's not really a plot. Like, there's not one plot line that I can say, okay, this is the main plot and these are the subplots. It's not like that. It's also not, linear. It just goes back and forth. It jumps around in time and with the different media and stuff like that. And a lot of the times I was just, when I was reading something, I was going back and rereading something that I've read before, just to confirm to myself that this is what this person said or did and what I've read before. The plot is basically made up of a lot of snippets of people's lives, and all of these people tell very different stories. But at a core, it's really the mystery of what happened to Catherynne. And I really think that the resolution to this mystery can be a little bit unsatisfying to a lot of people. There's also a little bit of uncertainty towards the plot because of the movie setting and because of the movie production setting, because sometimes you would get a page from a screenplay and you wouldn't recognize it as a page of a screenplay until much later, and it just you never know what is real and what is fake. That can be a little bit confusing at times. Speaking of confusing, let's talk about the world building. This is not kind of a science fiction book. If you look at it scientifically, you would say, okay, this world does not make any sense at all. Very literary, it's very metaphor and analogy heavy. Most of the references went completely over my head. I'm willing to admit that. But it's also one of the most beautiful, most interesting and imaginative worlds that I've ever read about, and I would love to see it kind of portrayed on screen somehow. I don't think that you could take this book and just translate it into a movie. I don't think that is possible, just because it is so confusing and it just jumps around so much. So let's talk about my personal thoughts, opinions and stuff. So this is one of the strangest books I've ever read, but also one of the most beautiful, and that is very much due to the writing. Sometimes it was just so confusing that I would go back and read that paragraph again and it was still confusing. And I would ask myself, am I on drugs? But actually I liked that. I also like that this book makes me think for myself and that I have to, you know, get to the core of the mystery by myself. There will be many rereads. I give this book 5 stars. It's just really beautiful. I would recommend this book for people who love sci-fi but really want to read something different, something more literary maybe. I would also recommend this book if you don't mind a little bit of an unsatisfying plot, if you don't mind the mixed media and confusion. And I would recommend this book for suckers of beautiful writing, because it's just so beautiful. And I cannot really describe it, you just really have to read it for yourself and really, you know, immerse yourself in the story and in the writing. It's just... I'm just blown away by it. So, on that note, tell me please one of the strangest books that you've ever read, because I'm interested in all of the, you know, that's what I like. I love different kind of weird books. That was it for today. I hope you have a lovely day. I hope you have a wonderful weekend, and I will see you soon. Bye!